what's real clear, that's a little fun song, but it's real clear that as young people, you guys have a lot of challenges that you have to face. And I have to say, like, dating is one of the greatest challenges that you have to face that is so much different than my generation, right? Dating was so different. Dating for us went like this. Will you go with me? Check yes or no. Right? Oh, she said, I remember that. Right? Now, dating for you guys is a little bit different now. It's more like this. I cannot believe that she wouldn't. All right. Now, do you like me or not? Please aim back soon. Right? So now you got anticipation, you got to wait for all that stuff, right? And let me tell you, there was this, even here at the camp, this was a big problem, wasn't it, Elizabeth? We had a dance, and at the dance, there was this song called Doing the Butt, right? Yeah. And basically, the song went like, doing the butt, yeah! Okay? The only thing was you were doing it by yourself, right? Now, teaching high school, we have a lot of dances, and now, they were doing this thing called the twerk, where, yeah, and people are doing stuff like this. I mean, the whole mating ritual is so different, right? And I guess butts can talk now, because you're like, hi, what's your name? It's just crazy. It's crazy. But one of the things where we seem to come together, and what is part of our human nature, is that we all have parents, and our parents have done the best they could with what they had to help us, right? To help us to grow to be great individuals. But there tends to be some age difference and time gaps, and things are different. And sometimes it feels like our parents don't understand us, or people around us don't understand us, but they're operating under some of the same kinds of things that we're operating under. All right, and so. The first thing I want to talk about is a paradigm. Does anybody know what a paradigm is? What is that? I'm not talking about 4 nickels. Yes, sir. Did I take your joke? Oh, okay. What's the paradigm? Oh, he lost his voice. Okay, can someone speak for him?
A paradigm is like when it's like a pendulum. It just swings. It's like from when the nation can be more conservative and they go back to be more liberal. Right now we're being more conservative. How it's like a paradigm change now. It's like using the.
Okay, so that is an example of a paradigm, how it can shift, right? But what is a paradigm? Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it kind of like the goggles you see life through?
The goggles you see life through. Yep. And we can look in a dictionary and get a really fancy definition, but basically, a paradigm is a way that you see the world, right? And the way you see the world will dictate what it is that you see, right? So I've passed out some cards. If those folks can disseminate those cards, that would be great, right? So take one, pass them, and be quick about it too. All right? So pass those puppies out. Don't be greedy, share. All right? So take one, pass it around. All right? So take one, pass it around. So your paradigms will determine what it is that you see. All right, so did anybody get the picture with the bird on it? All right, so you guys got a picture with the bird on it. Did anybody get the picture with a fish, with a Latino fisherman and fish? Who got that? Okay, they should be coming up. All right. If you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. Now, so we're talking about paradigms, right? Paradigms. If you haven't seen it, I want to just give it to you, that on that particular picture, there are both, there is both a bird and there is an island. And on that island, there's also a fish and a person in a boat trying to capture that fish. All right? So if you haven't seen it, just flip that upside down, right? Your paradigm can determine what it is that you see. Correct? Right? All right. There's also, there should be another card going around, right? Did that one? And what's in that picture? It says liar and it is a face, right? So, how were you able to see those things? Change your point of view. Rotate the paper, right? So, right now, as teenagers, right, you may see your life in one way, right? You may be in one clique at school or at home, right? Your parents may even see you one way or another, right? But it will change, right? And the way you're able to see the world will also change, all right? So let's go to linguistics school just for a second, all right? So does anybody know what a grapheme is? What is a grapheme? What is a graph? It's what? It's like a picture.
It's a graphic representation of data collected.
All right, so it's a graphic representation of data collected, right? All right, so a graph is a picture, all right? A grapheme is the picture of a letter, right? In the English language, graphemes, letters have they come in two forms, right? What are the two forms of pictures that lowercase and uppercase, or capitals and lowercase, right? So they come in two, right? So those are the graphemes, right? What is a phoneme? Telephone. What do you think phone means in Latin? Anybody? Sound, right? And so the sound of vowels comes in two ways, right? How do they come? Long and short, right? So graphemes are the pictures, right? Phonemes are the what? The sounds, all right? So pictures and sounds. Now, you say, Andre, what does that have to do with us here at this leadership camp? Well, I'm going to show you in just a second how sometimes we can create scotomas, or we can have scotomas. Does anybody know what scotoma means? What does it sound like? What does it sound like? Like cancer, right? It sounds like cancer. Or glaucoma. What is glaucoma? Blindness, right? Now, I want this next piece I'm going to do for you, I want to show you that we all have blind spots. All right? We all have blind spots. And let's just do it. What I'd like for you to do is get your card. What I want you to do is, once you get your card, I want you to read it. Once you've read it, put it on your lap and put your hand up. All right? So once you've read it, read it. There should be a side that says finish files. That's what I want you to read first. All right? The side that says finish files. All right? So once you've read it, put it on your lap and put your hand up. So then I also know who's gotten them. All right? So they're going around, going around, going around. Okay, good, good, good. All right? You guys up there still don't have it? Okay, they're coming. All right, so once you've read it, put it on your lap, put your hand up. I see a lot of hands. Do you see hands here? Okay, cool. So what I don't want, okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to memorize that by any means. All right. So if you had some intrepidation or some fears that might happen, don't worry about it. What I do want you to do is I want you to count the number of F's. All right? I want you to count the number of F's and then put the paper down on your lap. Do not talk to your neighbor about it. Just count them, put the paper down on your lap, and raise your hand once you've done that. All right? On the side that starts with finish files. All right? I just want you to read that and count the number of F's, put it on your lap, put your hand up so I know that you've done it. How are you guys up there? You guys didn't get it? Okay. Oh, you guys didn't get it either. Okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead and share, if you could. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. So, I just want to ask those people who read it, you can put your hands down now. Let's see. Sir, how many F's did you count? This guy in the back. You got 5 F's, all right? Did anybody get less or a different number than 5? What did you get?
3.
They got 6. Who got 3? You guys got 3, okay?
I got 4 the first time.
You get, okay, so stop just right there. So guys, everybody who got 3, please raise your hand, because I obviously must have made a mistake, all right? So please trade cards with somebody else. I must have just put the wrong ones in there. All right, so trade cards with those folks.
You got it right.
All right, so let's stop right there just for a second. All right, so what do we know about these cards? What assumption can we make about these cards? That they're different? We could make that assumption. What other assumption could we make about these cards?
We're seeing it differently because some people are reading it faster than others and skipping some of the.
Okay, well, just tell me. First of all, tell me. Do we have the same cards or not? Yes. All right. So that's an assumption that we can make, that we all have the same cards. Now, the question is, why is it that we're seeing different things if we all have the same card, right? Now, before I answer some questions, I want to go back to this. Graphemes and phonemes, right? Graphemes and phonemes, right? What is the grapheme for the word off? Oh, what? Off. O-F-F, right? Off. O-F-F, right? What's the phoneme for the word off? O-F, right? O-F, or in some cases, A-W-F. You know, it depends on where you come from and how you speak, right? So that's off. Now, let's look at the grapheme for the word of. What's the grapheme for the word of? O-F, right? What is the phoneme of the word F? O-V, right? So why is it, do you think, that some people were able to see all of these F's and some people weren't? Because they were listening to the sounds, right? They were looking for the sounds and they couldn't see all those F's, right? We all have scotomas, blind spots. Now, what's the most dangerous thing about having a blind spot in your car as you're driving down the street? You could hit somebody. What else? Somebody could hit you, right? Right? So it's dangerous to have these blind spots, right? It's dangerous to have these blind spots. Now, I have a lot of intelligent people in this council circle. A lot of professors and just really smart people here, right? So, can anybody tell me why OF makes the OV sound? You can say, I don't know. You can say it, all right? No, the point is, nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. It just is, right? OF makes the OV sound because it just does, right? And we were taught that way, right? So who helped us with our paradigms to make the OV sound? Who helped us with that? Our teachers, right? Our parents. They all helped us to understand that OF makes the OV sound. Now, is it your fault that OF makes the OV sound? No, it's not your fault, right? It's been, like he said, it's been like that for thousands of generations where people have just used that word and it became this way, right? It is not your fault. However, is it your responsibility to know that OF makes the OV sound? Yes. Oh, come on now. Is it your responsibility? No. Yes, it's your responsibility, right? Yeah, you can't walk around the world saying OF makes the OF sound. You'll sound ridiculous, right? Now, at the same time, is it your fault that racism exists? Yes. No, it's not your fault. No, you're not responsible for that. You didn't do that stuff, right? Did you? I don't know. All right, I did. At the same time, is it your responsibility to do something about it? Yes. right? Yes, it is, right? Because you can't walk around doing the same stuff. Now, is it your fault that sexism exists? No. But you do have a responsibility to do something about it, right? All right. So, although these things are not our faults, we do have to do something about it. All right? So, this is the last one. Now, I am going to build a scotoma for you. Now, I want you to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. I am going to build a scotoma for you. I am going to make you see what I want you to see. Yes. Right? Now, do people do this to you all the time? Do they show you things that they want you to see? Oh, yeah, they do. All right? So this is what I want you to do. This next thing, I'm going to pass out a card, and I want you to look for 3 items. There are 3 items that I want you to look for, and I want you to repeat them back to me once I tell you what they are, right? So there are 3 things that I want you to look for. One is a squashed top hat. You know, top hat, but it's squashed, all right? So I want you to look at that, right? I want you to look for that. I want you to look for an arrow, all right? An arrow pointing, right? The third thing is I want you to look for what looks like a finger pointing at someone, pointing at your neighbor, all right? When you see all of those 3 things, I want you to just raise your hand, okay? So I'm going to pass this out very quick. Well, you can't see it yet, can you? Like, you guys have it? Oh, cool. All right. All right, so you see all 3. Do you see all 3? All right. So people see the arrows, right? How many people see the arrow? Put your hand up. All right. The people who see the squash top hat. All right. The people who see the finger pointing. All right. Good, good, good. Very good. Is there anything else on there that you want to tell me about? Fly. Capital F, capital L, capital Y. Does anybody see that? Capital F, capital L, capital Y. Now, I heard some people say, oh my God. I heard some people say, well, I didn't see that. But why did you not see that? Because I created what? A blind spot, a scotoma for you, right? I was showing you what I thought was important. Now, by showing you those diagrams, those little pictures, looking at the black things, right? Who benefits from that? I benefit from that. I'm having a ball. I am laughing inside, right? As you look for those things. When in fact the real thing to be looking for was what? The word fly. Now, is it possible that your teachers, that your friends, that even your parents who love you are giving you information about yourself that might not be useful information to you? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible, right? So the question is, well, first of all, how do you know who you are? What was that? Oh, your bolos. I like that. All right? Your parents have told you about who you are, right? And because you love and respect them, this is one of the things my parents do at the, whenever I bring someone home for the holidays, they always break out the family album. And I think everybody has this picture of them naked in the bathtub. Is that true? Okay. Right? And that's the first thing that my family goes for. They go for that picture of me being naked and like, here's Andre, look at him, isn't he cute? You know. But there's this one picture where, you know, I'm standing here and just kind of looking like a kid, you know, right? And they're like, this is the picture where you just pushed off your grandmother's TV off the nightstand. You know, I'm looking at this picture, I'm like, I just look like a kid, right? But I accept it because what? I love and respect them and care about them. Now, that may have not been happening, but I really don't know. I have to trust them, right? Yeah, I have to trust them because I love and respect them. So if people are showing you what is important to them, how do you get to know, how do you get to decide, right? Now, this is a really crucial point in the rest of your lives. And I don't know if you'll hear anybody else say this to you, but I'm going to say it, right? Commit. How do you decide? You commit. Through commitment, you get clarity, right? If someone asks you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And if your answer is, I don't know, that is the wrong answer. Commit. Because once you commit, you become crystal clear if this is the right thing or the wrong thing, right? If you never commit, you will never know. So commit. All right? So how do you know if people are showing you the right things? Commit to doing something. Make a decision. Say, this is what I want to do, and gosh darn it, let me find out. Right? So I'm gonna pass. Can someone catch this? Ready? So please take a rubber band and pass it along. Anybody ready? All right. So take a rubber band and pass it around. Quickly, 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 quickly. So can anybody tell me, as those balls are going around quickly, can anybody tell me how what is this? What is this called? A rubber band, right? In Minnesota, it's referred to as a rubber binder. All right, so yes, ooh. So if you're ever in Minnesota, do not get those confused. They also play this crazy game called Duck, Duck, Gray Duck. It's the craziest game. It's just like Duck, Duck, Goose, except in Minnesota, I guess they don't goose people. I don't know. It's just, right? So Duck, Duck, Goose is what I know. All right, all right. So what is this? This is a rubber band, right? How does this work? Yeah, you're giving me what it is. Rubber. How does it work? How do you make it work? You stretch it, right? So you take one end and you pull, and you take the other end and you pull, right? Right. All right. So in between these 2 points is what we call tension, right? This is tension, right? All right. So if I want to flick this across the council circle, what do I have to do? I have to create a lot of tension and do what? And release it. Wait a minute. That didn't go anywhere. So if I want this to fly across the council circle, I have to do what? And the other way. Okay. Wait. So if I let go of both ends, what happens? It falls. Now, you guys might think that this is a rubber band, but what I want to tell you is that this is your goal-setting device. This is your goal-setting device. All right? So if we have more tension, that's a good thing. Tension is good, right? One of the things that happens is that young people try to set goals that are realistic. Has anybody ever told you to set realistic goals? Yes. Be real. Let's get real here, right? Set realistic goals, right? Well, so let's say that my right hand is my goal, right? My vision, my goal. And my left hand is my current reality, right? So, if this is my vehicle for making change, right? And I set realistic goals, how much tension do I have in my rubber band? Not very much. And what happens when I start moving towards my goal? I start working towards my goal. I'm doing my homework and I'm doing good stuff and I'm working towards my goal. What happens to my tension? It goes away. So if I were to use this to fly across the room, would I get very far? No. Right? So the key, and people will tell you this, they'll tell you to be realistic, right? They'll try to set up a paradigm for you, a scotoma for you, and they want you to be realistic, right? What I'm saying to you is that I want you to dream big things, right? Because what happens when you start dreaming big and doing big things? What happens to your motivation? You can fly, right? And when you start going towards your goal and you're doing the things you need to do, what happens to that tension? It releases, it goes down. So then what do you have to do? I have to stretch it farther, right? So if you don't remember anything else, I want you to remember to dream big and seek for big goals. Don't settle for realistic stuff. I want you to dream so big that you don't know how it's going to be, right? Because in the human spirit, we only make what happen, we only create the reality that we can see. And the bigger we're able to dream, the more we're able to accomplish. All right? So lastly, and I know you guys the concrete seats are getting kind of rough, but just stick with me for this. All right? So this is my last point. This is a $20 bill, Andrew Jackson. Who could use an Andrew Jackson? All right. So I got a lot of people who could use an Andrew Jackson. Who could use an Andrew Jackson? All right. All right, who can take an Andrew Jackson? All right, who can use an Andrew Jackson? Who could use an Andrew Jackson? All right. Can anybody tell me why you would still want this nasty, spit on, kicked on, rubbed under somebody's underarm dollar? Because you can still spend it. It is still worth something, right? Now, some of us have been spat on, kicked on, treated poorly, not loved like we think we should be loved, right? But we are still what? Worth something. My last question. Are you a $20 Andrew Jackson acting like 50 Cent?